Thank you, Fred. And today I'm joined with a fantastic man who I love because he loves dirt. Simon from Sustainable Outdoors.
G'day, Cara. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. So you're all about soils. You're a soil expert. Can I call you that?
Yeah, you could if you want.
Great. Now, you know what? I've needed you in the show because I'm into growing veggies and I can't make it happen. So tell me where I'm going wrong.
Where are you going wrong? So basically, I'm from Sustainable Outdoors. We're an environmentally friendly landscaping business.
Okay.
And we convert people's front lawns to water-wise native gardens.
Beautiful.
And so it's not only an environmentally friendly alternative to having grass, but it's also very practical as well because you can use a lot less water, a lot less fertilisers, and it's a lot less maintenance as well.
Okay.
Which brings us to the point of actually growing things sustainably and improving the soil because the life is all in the soil.
Yep.
So if we improve our soils and so have a good foundation, then we're going to grow better plants and use a lot less water.
Okay.
So people in Perth would probably know that they have much like this, very sandy kind of soil. Now that,
just show here.
if you looked at sand under a microscope, you'd see that it has very little moisture holding capacity. There's very little organic matter in there or anything to sort of hold that water and those nutrients in there.
Yep.
So it's basically like a sieve. And so they're very coarse inert particles of silica, really.
Silica?
Yep.
So nothing stays there.
So you can see that it's just breaking apart.
Yep.
And this just shows you how little content of clay is in the soil. So basically clay really starts to bind the particles together. So we add a product. So what we can do in Perth with this sandy soil is add this product called bentonite clay.
Okay.
Now this clay, it's just a pure form of clay, and by adding this to this sandy soil, it really starts to change the structure. So it's a permanent fix of that soil. And so this is one thing that really our Perth soils are missing quite a lot is that glue which is going to bind those sand particles together.
Okay.
So that's a very important additive.
Is it quite common, bentonite clay? Do you find...
No, it's starting to become quite common, but I mean, like in the past it hasn't been so.
Okay.
But it's pretty logical because you've got sand on one end of the scale and clay on the other, and so by adding a small portion of that clay into the sand, you're actually changing it to be more like a loamy soil.
Okay, so then the moisture will stay in here, you think, by adding this in?
Yeah, most definitely. And you mix it in the top foot of soil, so where the roots are going to be living, you know, that's the best spot to be mixing it.
Okay.
Now, another thing that our soils
look at that.
are really needing is a bit of compost. And this has a lot of bacteria, a lot of biological life in there, a lot of food for the plants, a lot of food
worm
for
poo?
the... Yeah, a lot of worm poo. Yeah, and even some roo poo possibly.
Awesome. Oh,
so
it's nice and dark.
You can mix it around. We're on a cooking show here.
I love to get dirty. This is awesome.
So you saw how the soil was, the sand, beforehand was very sandy, had little to no organic matter in it. Now we're actually starting to see a physical change in this soil.
It is.
We'll get our water precipitation device here.
Well, that's a professional one.
So that sand was quite wet beforehand, but just adding a bit more water is going to activate that clay. Now you can start to see, look at that soil, it's actually becoming soil rather than sand.
Okay.
So you're really starting to change the properties. Now that's a permanent improvement to the condition of that sand, so it's a very good thing to do when you're setting up a garden or even in an existing garden.
Okay.
If you're trying to grow natives, and fantastic if you are.
Yep, because it's more water-wise to grow natives.
And it's fantastic to grow some of our local plants, which are beautiful, you know.
Absolutely.
But, you know, look, native plants really do need a bit of help as well. Like, if you're kidding yourself, if you think that a banksia is loving it, living it out there in the scorching hot summer sun in sandy soils, you've got another thing coming, you know. Like, it really needs a bit of help. And if you want to grow vegetables or exotics or even lawn, this is a great preparation method for all of those.
Yep. And so you're saying it's a permanent method, so that means you add bentonite clay once, and that's all you have to do for your lifetime of your garden. You add it in once and it changes the structure of your soil from then on. That's
right. And it's also going to help prevent this compost from leaching through as well. It also helps water repellency. It prevents the water repellency on the surface of the soil.
Yep.
Because the clay acts like a bit of a pore and drags the water in.
Okay.
So another thing, so that's compost and the bentonite. Another thing we can do to our soils is mulch. We really have to add mulch to our soils to protect and insulate that soil from the hot sun.
Yep.
So if we add a good layer of that to our soils, we're talking 10 centimetres.
Yep. That looks like my dad's front garden. So that's awesome.
That's what your gardens should look like. Insulated from the hot sun.
Yep.
and have a good foundation to grow those plants. So we've got healthy soil, healthy plants equals healthy people.
Oh, I love it. That's a great combination. Thank you so much, Simon. This is a yummy recipe. And I'll tell you what, we want more information because everyone wants to grow stuff. What we can do, head to the Couch website, thecouch.com.au, head to the segment guide, and you'll see me for Talking Green. I'll have all the information up on the Eco Fairy and the Couch website about Simon and sustainable outdoors. Or you can catch him with great gardens, the consultations around Perth, doing free workshops, educating all about how to make your soil nice and yummy to grow native plants.